Okay, there's something that I have needed to confess, I think, for a really long time, like definitely since I've returned. And you know what? Probably before that. And I should have told you guys, I should have been honest from the beginning. I should have been real about all of these important chapters of my life. So I guess I got to be real with you here. And I know some of you, I won't say who, are going to be like, oh, fucking, of course. Like, no shit. Like, of course, this is exactly so you. I would not have put this past you the last 2 years to have been doing this. Anyways, fine. New music. Finally, new music is coming next week, folks. I finally made a little deal with the distributor. There's a new EP coming out. It's just 3 new tracks that have only been available on SoundCloud for now, but they're coming out now on everywhere else. It's an EP called Exit. It's got 3 different songs. One is called Sagittarius. There's another one called I'll Be Yours, and the third one is called Work Phone. They're all about different people, each one, so don't get yourself too vain. Anyways, after the Exit EP, sometime around the holidays or after the holidays, because your boy's finally got his shit together, the album, the one that I've been working on for the last 2 years and change, on and off, afraid to record it, afraid to finish writing it, Kisses and Tears, is finally done. The number of times I have gone back to this and been like, oh, no, that's too mean. That doesn't really belong in the story. If we're paying a tribute to a chapter in my life, then I don't really want to attack. So getting all of the shitty shit out of it and making it actually sound sonically enjoyable was the challenge of the past summer. And we did it, folks. We did it. I'm very excited for this to come out, not only as like an emotional release, finally letting go of something I've been so afraid to let go of, but also as like, hey, look at what I did. Like I finally finished a fucking project here in a decent one. I spent years on this, second guessing it, instead of rushing something out like during 2020 with my first album. I made this during a pandemic. That's what it was called. So you guess how that album is. It's 50-50. Honestly, 50% of it's some good shit, and then 50% of it is just shit. Anyways, those are the 2 projects, Exit and Kisses and Tears, both to come out this holiday season. This is the Short News Podcast. Thank you for bearing with me, and here we go.
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word.
What year has Jonah?
So, welcome back to a show, folks, a show that talks about current events in a semi-digestible way. My name is Alex Mador. I am on my way home from work. My voice is very hoarse from work, and I haven't really been keeping up with what's going on in the news. What I have been keeping up with the last couple of days is the Kardashians. Not on purpose. The internet wants to throw them down our throats as a stupid distraction from the actual important shit that we should be paying attention to. Hence why I'm talking about Kim Kardashian now instead of, I don't know, East Deals or something. I don't know. I don't even know what's going on in the world. What I do know is that I guess Kim Kardashian had an MRI recently, and what was found was something truly, truly remarkable. And by remarkable, I mean, they found very low brain activity in her frontal lobe, and everybody collectively on planet Earth went, huh, not really surprised. Cool. Anyways, how about the rest of us who might need MRIs? Get MRIs. Oh, right, they're unaffordable for the common man. And here he goes. Here he goes. Another Marxist rant, right? Gotta take a deep breath before this one. Healthcare is fucking unaffordable. People have trouble being able to pay to just go to the doctor to get a checkup. An MRI costs thousands and thousands of dollars. And your insurance company is going to give you a whole bunch of fucking problems and fight to the fucking death over just approving you being able to get one, even if you really need it. Even if there's something wrong with your brain, they're still going to be like, well, do you really need it? I don't know. Like, it's just so expensive. My stomach. Oh, I just can't. Oh. They're going to fight you tooth and nail. Kim Kardashian can walk into an MRI machine and pay cash. Kim Kardashian could buy 50 MRI machines and still have enough money left over to make a better sex tape. Anyways, my point is, there's so much wrong with that Kim Kardashian news being news. And it's all of the things that I just brought fucking up. A, that this is news. B, that she can just walk into a doctor's office, throw money at them like it's a strip club, and then next thing we know, she's getting a life-saving diagnostic procedure done on her brain when people who really need that, who have tumors or potential tumors or seizures or shit like that, can't even get approved for their insurance company to pay for that. The insurance company that they have through their jobs, their job that they're always at, that they're spending all their time and their energy at, the insurance company just sitting there. Not even. It's an AI usually now. Just going up, but this costs money, disapprove. I don't want to go too far into the health insurance debacle since the last guy who seemingly got really fired up about something like this is in jail for escalating things way too much. I'm not saying I would do that, folks. That's not what I'm saying. But it just goes back to the overarching theme of the last few episodes where people can't afford things and companies don't want to hire people. They'd rather replace human beings, people, with machines that emulate people and don't even do it well. Did I talk about the Neo robot yet? I don't think that I did. And that's something that's been really bothering me and that I have been ranting on the internet and other places about. But this company, shit, what are they called? Like 1X or something? Watch, I'm going to have gotten that wrong and it turns out that's like a porn company and I'm just Freudian slipping my habits away. But yeah, this company, I believe that's called 1X is releasing this $20,000 home robot that is humanoid looking, but kind of just looks like it's covered in a giant tube sock that's anthropomorphic. It's an anthropomorphic tube sock with Coraline eyes called Neo. It's got a MagSafe charger too, which is kind of silly. But this thing is supposed to be able to help you with chores around your house. It's got a sort of weird muscular-like structure of servos and motors that make up its insides, which is why they chose to cover it up with something friendly like a sock type of texture so that you don't see that hauntingly Westworldian scary-ass shit underneath him. Anyways, they've done a couple of demonstrations of this thing, this horrifying monster that's going to be released onto the public that people are already excited to buy. Crazy people, not the majority, of course, but the thing isn't even fucking good. They say, yeah, it's automated with an asterisk. It's automated with the things that it knows how to do, but God forbid you give it something that it doesn't know how to do. It will outsource that task to a human being in an Oculus headset, remote controlling this thing from, I don't know, probably India or something, wherever they can pay people the least if we're thinking about outsourcing. So that's a big fucking problem. What are we doing here? We're just letting random human beings beam into our house and it's fine. It's cool because it's here to help, right? Okay. How about you release a finished product that knows how to do more than 2 tasks on its own without needing to refer to the human being? But no, because then that wouldn't be as great as having a human be able to go and have access to your house remotely without actually having to physically step in. And then, I don't know, rummaging through your underwear drawer, but not for perverted reasons, but to figure out what kind of underwear you buy so that it can send you ads to buy more, but also for perverted reasons. I see this going in a really bad direction if this type of technology catches on. And not to sound all Unabomber on you, not to get all Andy Rooney on you. Is that a little bit better? A little bit less threatening? Sorry, Pete Holmes, I'm stealing your bit. But I feel like we're implementing technology into way too many parts of our lives where it's just replacing the actual human experience that we, the humans, are supposed to be having, not forcing ourselves to have, but having. We look at living life now, awake, as a curse, as a chore. That's why we outsource all of our shit to these automated systems, or to these systems that are automated sometimes, but then are just, a human beaming themselves into your house and walking around getting the lay of the land. I kind of like, if I had one, I would never fall asleep. Even if I locked my door, I would be sitting there with a gun or a baseball bat. I don't have guns. Come on. Just sitting there awake, eyes wide open with a fucking baseball bat. Like, it's going to come in tonight and sneak up on me. I know it. It's going to be sitting there tracking my sleeping data like he's not asleep yet. He's on to me. I looked at his chat history with ChatGPT and he's plotting against me. I must destroy him in his sleep. I put THC gummies into his tea while he wasn't looking. It's only a matter of time. And then it just comes in with a pillow, Tony Soprano to his mom style in that one part of that show. And I wake up while it's doing it, and then I just hold a grudge for the rest of forever. And I'm not turning it off. I'm not junking it because now, I'm in debt making car payments worth of monthly payments on this fucking thing because it's $20,000. Like, I'm not gonna throw it out. I'm gonna still use it. And the whole time I'm like pissed at it, and it's like, you gotta fucking forget about it. Like Tony Soprano, that was really bad. But you get what I'm saying here. It's not great. It's not a great look for society when we're spending $20,000 on a human-looking thing to do a human's chores or tasks or experiences, but does those things significantly worse. I don't know if you've seen the videos of these robots trying to cook or trying to put away dishes, but they fucking break everything. They're a fire hazard. They're a danger. They just like stutter. It's like me having a seizure. I can say that because it's true. And we're like, someone's looking at me and they're like, Alex, why are you like stuttering while you're holding this thing? Like, why is your whole body just glitching out? Just finish the task. And I'm like, uh-huh. And that's what it's like. That's what it reminds me of. Not great. Like, it's not even good when I do it. Imagine a fucking robot. And it overheats. So it can do like what? It can fold one thing from your laundry, one t-shirt, and then it has to take a break. I thought the point of getting a robot to do tasks for us was that we are the ones taking the breaks. What the fuck is happening? You're just turning the consumer into the pit crew and IT guy for what is supposed to be serving them. That's stupid, I think this is really dumb. Like, I know people really want the Jetsons, where we have these home robots that can talk to us, can take our kids to school, and all of that fucking shit. But that was a cartoon. It worked in the cartoon because it's a cartoon. I hate to fucking say it, but you don't want that. Even just the implementation of like Roomba and Scuba into our lives. Are you telling me that you can't just pick up a fucking vacuum cleaner and do it yourself? You need to get this thing that can't even get all of the nooks and crannies to do the job worse for you? Just why? Because it's cool? Because it's in the principle of having a thing that does it for you that makes you feel prideful? I don't know. I don't know you. We don't know each other. But what I know is if you have a Roomba, I don't know, like the only reason I would buy a Roomba is so I could put my cat on top of it and she would ride around it like it's a car built for one cat. It's a self-driving car. That's all it's fucking good for. Roomba can't get in all the nooks and crannies. You still got to run over those spots anyways yourself. You're getting out the vacuum anyways. What's the point? Again, not to sound like an old fuck, because I am. I'm 29. I'm geriatric. I'm turning to dust Infinity War style, and my back hurts all the time. I don't think that we should be putting more technology into our lives. I think we should be cutting down on the technology. You know what I might be fucking doing at some point soon? I've been looking this up online. There are these small businesses or people, it depends. And if you want to refer to the individuals or the entities, there are these people who they restore old iPod classics and then they update them with a new, a little bit snappier operating system. They add solid state memory to them. They make them run better overall, but they're still just an iPod. You know, there's no Apple Music, there's no streaming. All of this shit that is on your device, like the device that you now own, is yours to own and keep. You don't have to rent out your music anymore. We're renting out convenience when we could be owning things that are also convenient and also enjoyable, just a little bit less convenient. So I'm thinking about buying an iPod Classic from one of these people. It's like $100. Do I have the 30 pin or 90 pin connector anymore? I don't know, probably somewhere. Hopefully it comes with one. But I'm doing that because I'm so sick of the the bullshit of feeling like I don't own anything anymore. Everything's a payment plan. Your music, your phone, your car. Some of us are homes if you rent. Your streaming services. I mean, everything, you're just renting out all your shit. And I'm not a big fan of that. I was for the convenience for a while. I loved Spotify. I was a huge Spotify proponent. But between the massive data collection that they do to the point where it's intimidating what kind of shit that they have on everybody, and also the fact that they're running join ICE, like Homeland Security ICE, propaganda and ads on people's podcasts, I don't really like that. That doesn't really fly with me. I switched to Apple Music, and for a while I've been happy on that. I'm not a big fan of paying $10 monthly for that. I know I sound ridiculous, but that does add up. You never actually own the shit that's downloaded to your device. The second you stop paying, it goes bye-bye. So what the fuck are you paying for? You're giving them all this fucking money for, the convenience of 10,000 songs or whatever. You don't own shit. If you're on an iPhone upgrade plan with AT&T, you don't even own the fucking phone until you pay that off. But at least that you get to pay off and own. I think it's really ridiculous. I don't like it. No, sir, I don't like it. And I wish we would go back to a world where this type of shit that businesses are doing, that corporations are doing to consumers, wasn't the norm anymore. Wasn't seen as non-threatening anymore. Wasn't seen as invasive or keeping you on the hook. Remember when Adobe Photoshop was you pay one time? And yeah, it was really expensive. It was like, what, $300, $400 for Photoshop? But you paid one time. You owned that. That was yours to keep. There was no being on the hook every single month for something that you should just be able to keep. It's like, oh, you want to be able to do your job in editing? Make sure you keep fucking paying us like you have a mortgage with an application. By the way, Photoshop overrated. There's a lot of apps out there now that even on your iPhone can do 10 times better shit for free or for less money or for a one-time payment. There's some out there, you got to look. But I think it's ridiculous that we're on the hook for everything now. And I've seen this movement slowly happening of not just like the iPod resurgence, but people who know how to do this type of shit online, those techfluencers or builders in general, are building their own MP3 players because it's that easy to do. It's really not that hard. I was looking it up yesterday because I kind of want to do it myself. The only thing is I would break that shit so easily because I don't have a 3D printer to make a decent case for it. and 3D printers are a little bit pricey. What am I going to do? Sneak into a college campus? Like I said, I'm old. I'm old as fuck. I'm geriatric. I'm 29. I'm sorry. But that's another thing. Building your own shit, not only is there a lot of pride in that, but you own that shit. There's no monthly payment plan. You don't realize how many things you could just do yourself until you actually do it. And then you don't realize also how much money you could be saving by doing these things yourself until you do save that money actually trying to do that shit yourself. It's like when I got over my fucking anxiety of going to the grocery store and I finally started grocery shopping for myself, and it stopped feeling like while I was in there, I was suffocating from just being so anxious, being around so many strangers. They're all doing the same fucking shit. You could be in there for an hour and a half, 2 hours. No one's going to tell you to get out. I don't know why I was so afraid for so long, but I don't know. Maybe it has something to do with being stopped as a kid because somebody thought that I was shoplifting from the mall, but I emptied my pockets and they were completely empty, except for the money that I was going to use to buy the shit at the Aeropostale, where I don't know why they profiled me because I'm Korean. That just seems weird. But it happens, dude. You'd be surprised how many people think I'm Mexican. That's why, and this is going to sound dark. This is a sad world that we live in, but I'm going to be real with you, party people, folks. I drive around or carry around my birth certificate everywhere that I go. And to white people, or to like generally more moderate or conservative white people, they call me an asshole for that. Or they say it's like fresh. But I don't think it's fresh. I think that's protection. It says, hey, I was born here on US soil, asshole. If you're stopping me, because ICE is fucking everywhere at this point. They're all over the fucking place. I don't know if you've seen these videos, and I've heard from my peers that they're in a lot of the cities around us, in a lot of even the suburban areas too, just hiding out. They pop out of cars like clowns in a clown car, and they run up on people. So I carry around my birth certificate with me everywhere because I don't want any extra problems. Prepare. Just be prepared. I know it's not a fun reality to live in, and that none of us should have to prepare in these types of ways, and that it may feel like submission. But no, unfortunately, it's the difference between you and wasting your time with a bunch of white racist assholes who think that they're better than you and want to remove you from the country that you may have been born and raised in, just like them. Anyways, I gotta run for a hot minute, but we will be right back after these commercial breaks. Or after this commercial break, sorry. I'm a little bit tired.
4 years ago, a legendary leader was taken from us mercilessly. He was a pioneer and a true hero to everyone he knew. Some may call him a revolutionary, but to us, he's known as Harambe. Harambe was sadly killed because of an accident due to a shitty mom not watching her kid, and we all have to suffer because of it. But was it really a mom, and was it really her kid? Was she actually a shitty parent? What if it wasn't an accident at all? What if that shitty mom was actually a deep state assassin and Harambe was murdered to protect their secrets? What if he knew something about the government that they didn't want us to know? What are they hiding? Are we going to stand for this? Harambe fought for us. He was a real American hero, and now is our time to avenge what the deep state did to him. What Harambe would have wanted is for you to fight and vote to legalize marijuana at the federal level. Tweet at Donald Trump in protest and tell him now is the time to legalize cannabis so he can bring those who harmed our Harambe to justice. Weed. Legalize it. I'm Bill Clinton and I approve this message.
Burb, and we are back. It's the next day. I know I keep doing this, but I'm finding that this is the best way, the most optimal way for me to record these spaced out, spacing out my thoughts, finding out more about the world, doing my own research prior to coming on the microphone, having a whole day to do that. It's nice. Did I learn anything? Maybe not this time. I've been very focused on work. I'm not gonna lie. And then before that, I was enjoying Thanksgiving and not going shopping on Black Friday and avoiding all of the stores on Black Friday. Because, and we touched upon this, I believe it was last episode, but savings, sales, all of that stuff where they tell you, come to us and save some money, things that you don't need. All they're saying is come spend money that you wouldn't normally spend. You're not saving money. You're being tricked. You're being coerced into losing money. And I don't want this to turn into a finance podcast, but we talked about this also a little bit last episode, budgeting, challenging yourself to, you know, how many days can I go without spending money on things I don't need? Things that aren't necessities, things that aren't bills, walking into a mall and exposing yourself to the temptations of, I don't know, what do you people like? Fucking Labubus or whatever? You know how many Labubu stores I walked by and I'm like, but that's $30. I could buy gas with that. I have a lot of friends who are into shit like that. And I'm starting to feel like they're all being played. It's like you're buying this shitty plasticky mold thing that you can't even do much with aside from maybe use it as a extra large keychain that looks a little bit off. You're dropping a lot of money on it, like $30 to $80, depending on if you buy it from the source or from the reseller. A lot of people are buying them from the resellers. How do I know this? Don't ask. But it's stuff like that, those collector's items that only have relevancy, is that a word? For a short period of time, a short spurt, that I get concerned about people wasting their hard-earned cash on. It's going to end up in the same place as Bill Burr always says, in a fucking landfill or in the ocean choking out a turtle. And he's right. What are you going to do in 10 years when your Labubu is worthless and it's just a faded piece of plastic that like the paint is chipping off, pieces are falling off of it? It's probably possessed by some sort of demonic entity if it wasn't already out of the box. And now you're like, well, I can't get rid of this. Fuck. I wasted money on this. There's no one that's going to want to buy this. It's not a baseball card. It doesn't have this foundation of history and legitimacy behind it, like collector's items that have been established for a long time and don't show any sign of going away. Remember, well, I slurred my speech there. Sorry, my lips are dry. Remember NFTs? Remember how I got into NFTs? If you're a long-time listener, remember that thing I don't like talking about? That really embarrassing moment in my life during COVID lockdowns? Not because I was engaged and talked about my fiance all the time, but because I thought that the future of finance and of printing fucking money was in these digital collectibles that are legitimized by the blockchain. What does that even mean? Did any of us even know what that means? Oh, it's secure. No, it's not. Oh, it's anonymous. If anyone finds out what your blockchain wallet address is, they can just go and trace every single transaction that wallet has ever been linked to, ever been involved in. It's decentralized, is it? Because I've seen a lot of centralized cryptocurrencies come out in the last 5 to 6 years that have been controlled pump and dump schemes, and people keep fucking falling for them. Everybody's trying to make a quick buck. And so many people, they fall for these schemes. They fall for the hype of something like Labubus. I sound like such a boomer. Or NFTs, the new craze, the new thing that's going to make some quick, big money. And they don't realize that the people that started the craze, that started the hype, they've been ahead of the curve since before you and I were even knowledgeable of there being hype or a curve. Because they started this shit. It was a scheme for them to make all of the money, and then they're going to pull the rug right out from under you when you invest. That's how it works. That's how it's always worked, whether it's been crypto, penny stocks, whatever the fuck. You build up the hype already being ahead of the game, and then you pull the rug out from under the people when you cash out and don't tell anybody. And they just wake up like, why is this worth nothing now? Because you made all of the money while they were asleep. Skill issue. Bing, bing. I don't know what I'm doing. This is really turning into guy rants about financial shit podcast. And don't even get me started on auto pay. That was a joke, but really, the fact that companies incentivize you to turn on auto pay so you didn't even have to like be aware of the money that they're taking from you. It's just passively permitting itself to take money from you. What is it? Like AT&T insurance or whatever you've got that has that shit. It's like, no, I want to sign off on this payment every time. I want to be very aware of the payment that I am making every single time. No more of this auto fucking charging me shit. Ask first. What happened to consent, dude? I guess if you're a financial institution, you don't have to fucking ask for consent to shit. You can just fuck over and fuck whatever you want, right? I'm sorry for being so crass. I'm still getting used to this podcasting thing. I know we're 5 episodes in, but to be honest, I don't really know what's going on in the world these days. I was on holiday. I was with family, something I don't normally do. I could talk about that. Here's some news for you. I don't know. I went to my grandparents'. That was fun. Had some turkey. Got a stomachache. Went to bed early. Had a couple of days off from work. Kind of enjoyed them. Did a lot of journaling. Stayed away from the microphone or the camera. That's been a common theme in my life. Here he goes, fucking off script. But staying away from vain shit. And I know, here I am talking to you on a podcast. Whatever, this is different. Babe, it's different, I swear. I have a lot of things I could be saying that about right now. But we're not, folks, we're not saying them. But, I've been trying to focus on being less of a vain piece of shit by posting less online. And for most of the summer, and I've talked about this when I first came back to the pod, I avoided this podcast like the plague because it overwhelmed me to come back because I had a whole bunch of hangups about even coming back, whether it be what's the purpose of this anymore. I kind of lost the plot here, or I don't want to jump on the microphone when I'm not ready and still not able to emotionally regulate after the last couple of years of insanity and say something that at the time I feel is very much deserved or I'm very much justified in saying, and then only to wake up the next day or 2 days later or whatever being like, no, that's not good. You don't mean that. You're going to hurt somebody again. No, you actually don't feel that way. Ignore that I stopped myself from what I was saying there. But it's like, that's really scary to be sitting on the microphone as a ticking time bomb of emotions. I didn't want to do that anymore. This show used to be so simple. It was about like, hey, guy comes on, gives a small little life update, and then just goes in on Donald Trump for an hour and a half. It was like, I don't know, the frustration and the anger was directed properly, but the guy who was doing it wasn't emotionally intelligent enough to properly communicate the issues he was trying to talk about. He couldn't make sense of the things that he was trying to say. The communication was off. Now take that person, throw a few breakups at them, where they, entire time they're saying, I've been working on myself, but they're only saying that they've been working on themselves. They don't actually know what that is supposed to look like. And it's especially evident that they are very much not working on themselves when it comes to everybody's attention that they are a full-blown alcoholic who doesn't plan on stopping to the point where they're drinking themselves to having seizures again, which hadn't been an issue for like 8 years. And then that person even doubles, triples, quadruples down on very much showing that they're not working on themselves. When they start having seizures, realize the seizures are because of the drinking, and they start drinking more. That's not a person that should be on a podcast. That's not a person that should have a creative partner where both of them are imbibing in this same demon and projecting onto others through dynamic condenser microphones. Who could I be talking about? Who the fuck could I be talking about? Who could that be? Who did all of that and more? I've been doing a pretty decent job with myself about, I don't know, like just letting myself feel the things that have been itching at me, have been haunting me, instead of having them stand at the door, continuously knocking and saying, let me in, like they have for the last couple of years. And the day that I finally let everything in, yeah, it was really overwhelming. I cried for days. This was back in March, I think. Like a bitch, like a dog. Yeah, I cried for days. And then even after that, I was more emotionally fragile than a Christmas ornament made of paper mache. Is that fragile? I don't know. Probably. And that was really hard, especially working in an emergency room environment like I do, where everybody's a veterinary emergency room environment, I should say, like I do, where everybody's barking at each other, including the dogs, but also not including the dogs. And then having to, dive into that craziness as an emotional egg ready to crack at any time and letting it happen anyways and going, hey, this sucks. Hey, I feel all of this and I'm fucking scared. But instead of keeping the fear at the door or only letting a foot in through to the foyer, I let it all in. I let myself feel it. I acknowledged what was happening. I acknowledged what I was feeling emotionally, physically, whatever. And yeah, it was really hard at first. Yeah, there were times where I felt like I was tweaking. Even though I wasn't doing drugs, I was feeling hot and then really cold in like a 20-minute period, back and forth like that. I started having to wear layers in March inside because I would have to take them off and put them back on because everything was wearing away at me, but I was letting it. Finally. Bruce Lee has a really good saying, I guess, R.I.P. To be like water, to be water. I didn't really understand that until then. Like, don't resist the things that you're feeling. Dissolve into them. Allow yourself to feel them fully, all the way through yourself. Because if you don't, you'll end up hosting a comedy podcast during one of your alcoholism relapses with a long-distance friend of yours / creative partner, and you'll have to atone for it spiraling out of control afterwards. Yeah, very specific. I know. Where could I have gotten that from? I don't know. My point is that I spent a very long time away from the public eye or whatever. Oh, so fucking vain, you piece of shit. Because I didn't know why I was even in the public eye in the first place. When I was getting millions of views on TikTok, when I was doing a podcast, when I was making music and performing music, there was a time where I was doing those 4-hour concerts on TikTok Live back in 2023, 2024, returning from, I don't even like this word. I don't even like using this word, returning from Colorado. And I was like doing those, sitting there waiting for just one person to show up while there were actual other audience members sitting there interested. And I wasn't doing it for them. I wasn't even doing it for me. Like, God. And it became exhausting to the point where I didn't even want to make music anymore. All fucking summer. I did that shit off the microphone. I didn't want to share it with anyone. I stuck to cover songs. I stopped writing for a little bit. Do you know how pathetic it is, looking back at myself, or how pathetic I was, to be like, yeah, I'm doing this TikTok concert, just waiting for that one person to show up, and they never do. Why are you doing that? Have some self-respect. Jesus Christ, dude. It's sad. It's frustrating. Because I could have been making bangers. I could have been making, like, Songs that would actually be popular. That's the name of my next album. Songs that would actually be popular. Not that I don't think that about Kisses and Tears, which, like I said earlier in the episode, is coming soon. But I wrote that fucking shit during a really, really dark time. And then I took a really, really long break after I finished it. Because I don't know, man. Was it embarrassment? Was it exhaustion, burnout? Combination of those 3 things? Was it heartache? Was it being tired of heartache? Was it being tired of feeling? Was it that I just don't want to have feelings for anybody anymore type feeling? I don't know. Maybe I should go back to therapy. What I will tell you is I am back on my medication. That is why the episodes are panic. For the most part, that and also the news has been wacky. Current events, such as Donald Trump allegedly sucking off Bill Clinton, have given me a good reason to come back. And I feel like this episode is a lot of nothing right now. I'm not saying much of anything having to do with current events. And that maybe scares me a little bit because I don't want this to turn into a personal journal again. But I guess it's fine if every 5 episodes, this is how it starts. This is how the backslide starts. Relapsing again. Remember that, guys? Remember that song? That's coming on Kisses and Tears. I know it's the single that came out in February for an album that's coming out either in December or in January of the following fucking year. Wow. Look at us go. It's a little surreal to finally be releasing that project. I will say this. And I guess now that I'm on a podcast that is solely my own and I can't get interrupted by a co-host every time I try to talk about kind of emotional shit, I can go into this, but it's weird because I think that in a way, this project and constantly working on it, being in the mode of I'm working on it instead of like I'm finishing it, it's almost done, it's finalized, I can release it, let it go, that's it. This was just one more way to emotionally hold on to something that I didn't feel ready to let go of. And I've never really been good at letting go of things. And this summer has been a very, very important summer in that this was, in a lot of ways, this summer that I had to learn how to let go. I had to learn how to say goodbye. Not just to like ex-partners or whatever, or to family, but to decades-long trauma loops, to decades-long self-hatred that was baked in mistakes that weren't even necessarily mine to fully own, but also decades-long of mistakes that were mine to fully own. There's a lot of letting go in learning to deal with all of that. It's one of the hardest things you can do as a human. It's one of the hardest parts of the human experience is learning how to let go. Because it's not like you wake up and you do it. It is a long process. And it could be different for everyone. It depends on like how much you want it, how much you're willing to continue or go on, how attached you are to this thing you're letting go of. And I don't know, a psychologist would probably answer this better. I'm not one. And I'm just kind of rambling on my way home from work, not talking about the news. Because I looked at the news and it was all shit like comet coming towards Earth. And I was like, yeah, I don't really want to do this today. This is an episode of Jimmy Neutron I was not expecting to happen today. I'm not really feeling the apocalypse if it's coming. But if you're hearing this, then most likely, hey, we made it. Congratulations. We're still here. But I don't know. I'm going to listen back to this and determine whether or not it's something that's even releasable. And, maybe I'll record something tomorrow, even if I do release this. Because I'm going to get home. I'm going to watch the news. I'm going to see what the president has been up to. And maybe it's been as goofy as a presidential head. We don't know yet because I haven't seen it. But until then, this has been the Short News Podcast. This will continue to be the Short News Podcast. My name is Alex Mador, and I appreciate every single one of you that listen, even the ones that hate listen. Like, I don't know. What am I going to say? Fuck you for hate listening? There's a reason you're hate listening. But I appreciate every single one of you, and have a great time. Have a great day. Morning, afternoon, evening, night. Fuck bitches, get money, stay in drugs, don't do school. You know the drill. Deuces.